Hey, what's up? This your boy Norris. Welcome back to another sew along, and today we'll be working on my latest Know Me pattern design, which is ME2130. And today we'll be working on view B, which are the shorts. Now this is a casual spring summer design and a fairly easy project, but if you're new to sewing or just need a refresher, you can always check out sewedacademy.com, and if you want to, check out the free trial before making the commitment. All right, let's get started. So once again, we'll be working on my latest Know Me pattern design, which is ME2130, and we'll be working on view B, which are the shorts. Now this is a really cool spring summer outfit. As you can see, the top has no sleeves, minimalistic with just a few details, but very comfortable. Now, when you flip it to the back, you want to make sure that you look at all the fabric suggestions and then also any notions that you will need. And then also check out the sizes. And once you do look at the size you want in the particular small, medium, large, extra large, and double XL, go down to finished garment measurements, and that will give you an accurate idea of what this fit is going to be and the measure is going to be once you sew it all up. So now that we went through all the details, let's get into all the pattern pieces we'll need for this particular project. Okay, so pattern piece number 9, this is the back. You want to cut 2 of these out of fabric, and then you have markings only for the right side of your back piece. Now, if you want to do 2 pockets, you have to cut out 2 of the back pockets and then make sure you transfer your markings on both sides. Or if you want on the left, don't do it on the right and just put it on the left side. Now we have pattern piece number 5. Now this is the front. You want to cut 2 of these out of fabric. Next we have pattern piece number 8. Now this is the side front and pocket. You want to cut 2 of these out of your fabric. So pattern piece number 10, this is the back pocket. You want to cut 1 of these out of fabric. And like I said, if you're going to do 1 on both sides of your back pieces, you want to cut out 2. Pattern piece number 6. Now this is your pocket facing. You want to cut 2 of these out of lining. Next we have pattern piece number 11. This is the casing. You want to cut 2 of these out of fabric. Now pattern piece number 12. This is the guide for the elastic band. You will not cut anything out of fabric. You just want to use it to measure out how long you approximately need to have your elastic. And this is what this is for. Okay, so last but not least, we have pattern piece number 7. Now this is the pocket interfacing. You only want to cut 2 of these out of your interfacing, not lining and not your fabric. Okay, so now once you have all of your proper pieces cut out of fabric, interfacing, and also lining, we can begin order of construction. So the very first thing I'm going to start with is the front, and then also that pocket bag. Now the strip of interfacing that we're supposed to cut out, the instructor is going to tell you to put that onto this particular piece, your front pocket bag, but I like doing mine on the front piece to just give a little more stability on the actual garment. Now, you can choose whatever you want to do, and once you make that decision, you want to go ahead and take your pocket bag right size facing, and we're going to align it here with the front, and we're going to pin. Okay, so let's head to the machine. We're going to stitch starting here all the way here using 5/8 seam allowance. Okay, we're going to stay here. We're going to flip the pocket bag over to the right side, and we're going to leave the seam allowance, as you can see, facing towards the right, and we're going to do some understitching. Now we're just going to put that needle just on the right side of that seam onto the lining, and we're going to stitch. Okay, so head to your cutting table, and we're just going to trim the seam allowance down. Okay, as you can see, I trimmed some seam allowance down. I turned it to the inside, and I gave it a good press. Now you can head back to your machine, and you want to do some top stitching about 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch away from the edge here, all the way along the entrance of the pocket. So do that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine with that top stitching, as you can see, and this is how it looks on the inside. So now we're going to grab your side / pocket, and we're just going to lay it over just like this. There should be a notch here to connect with the notch on the bag, and then a double notch here. Just make sure you line it up, and we're just going to pin this. Okay, so then we're going to head to the machine, and we're going to start at the top and go all the way down to the bottom, only working on the bag and not the front piece. Okay, so I'm back from the machine. As you can see, is basically finished. And then I went ahead and cleaned off that edge with a serge. And if you don't have a serger, you can use a narrow zigzag stitch or peeking shears that'll secure the inside from fraying just a bit. So on the right side, as you can see, it's nicely clean and finished. And I went ahead and just based the top here and then also on the side so it won't move while we construct the rest of the shorts. So now let's put this to the side and we're gonna work on our back pocket. And then of course, once you do one side, you wanna do the other side the same exact way. So this is our back pocket. As you can see across the top, I went ahead and serged the top just to secure it. And then I have notches to indicate where that fold line is. So we're just going to fold it back at the fold line and we're going to pin for both sides. So now we're just going to go to the machine and we're just going to stitch 5/8 of an inch here and then also here. So now we're back from the machine and I'm just going to clip diagonally just to get a nice little corner, just like that. And if you want to trim a little bit more on that inside seam, you can do it. Now grab your point turner and we can turn this right side out. So now let's head to your pressing table and we're going to press this down and then also turn 5/8 of an inch on both sides and then turn up 5/8 of an inch on the bottom. Do that, come back and we'll continue. I'm back from the pressing table. As you can see, I pressed the sides and also the bottom. And then at the top, you want to go ahead and do a row of top stitching here just to secure that edge underneath, okay? So now we're just going to place it where our markings are. Make sure everything is straight and tucked in. And then now we're just going to pin all the way around. Okay. So now let's just head to the machine and we're going to egg stitch down one side across the bottom and then up the other side. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, we have our pocket stitched on, and then we're going to stitch our front and backs together. Okay, so right sides facing, you want to grab a back and then also one of your fronts. And then with right sides facing, as you can see, we're going to match up our notches first, and we're going to pin across our inside seam, and then we're going to do the same thing to our outside seam. Okay. So once again, we're going to head down with 5/8 of an inch. We're going to stitch down the outside seam and then the inside seam. And now you want to stitch your inside seam down the same exact way. Okay, so moving right along, I went ahead and serged my seams, as you can see, to make them real nice and neat on the inside, and I press them towards the back, the inside and outside seam. And then once you do one, you want to do the other one the same exact way. And then now you want to have one right side out and then one other one inside out. So the one that is right side out, you want to tuck that one up under the other one, just like this. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pin along the front and back center seams. So let's pin at the center crotch first, making sure those seams align perfectly. Okay, so now we're going to head to the machine. We're going to start on one side and go all the way through the crotch and then up the other side. Okay, so we're back from the machine. I went ahead and turned the right side out, and then I pressed that seam to one side. I usually do it to the left. And then now we're going to go ahead and work on our waistband. Okay, so our waistband, right side's facing, just like this. And then on one side, we have two dots right here. So we're going to stitch at this side of the dot. We're going to break out threads and then skip over to the second dot, leaving this right here open for our elastic, and then continue all the way up. And then on the other side, we're just going to stitch all the way across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now we're going to skip over to that second dot. Just like this, leaving the opening, as you can see. And then on the other side, you just want to stitch all the way across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance as well. Okay, so we're back from the machine. I went ahead and pressed that seam open, and you can see that opening right here for the elastic. And then you just want to fold it wrong sides touching, as you can see, and press it in half all the way around. And that opening should be towards the inside, like this. Now we're just going to go ahead and grab our shorts. You're just going to flip this right side facing, so turn it upside down like this. You'll see the opening to the outside, but once you flip it up, it's going to be to the inside. And let's go ahead and secure the side seams first. Just going to pin. You should see notches to the front. And there should be 2 notches on the back. Okay, so let's head to the machine, and we're going to stitch all the way around using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I went ahead and serged the seam as well, and I pressed the seam down, and then now we just have to put the elastic through the opening of the casing. Get you a safety pin, which is one of the best ways to do it. And then now you got it secured. We're just going to move it all the way around and back through the opening. Okay, so once you get it out, you want to make sure that the band is not twisted at all, and then we can later distribute all the way around. But now what you want to do is just overlap them like this and do a couple of stitches back and forth, or those a few zigzag stitches back and forth to secure it, and then come back and we'll finish up. Okay, so we have the elastic put in. Only thing we have to do is hand stitch that opening close on the inside, and then we have to do the hem. Now I think I'm gonna leave mine raw edge like this because I like the look with this particular fabric. But if you're doing the hem, you want to serge around to make it clean, and then fold under the hem allowance, which is 1 1/4 inch. And then after you do that, you're all done.